Now hold on, Coach Reggie. You ain't been in the Indianapolis Colts, coaching staff for over a few years. You've been back for a little bit, and now you're starting to see similarities. It's like, calm down, okay? Calm down. But what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Coach Sharp. We're back with another video. Today we're talking about Reggie Wayne's comments about Matt Ryan. He says he sees Peyton Manning in him, but this isn't what you're thinking. He mentioned similarities as in, the way he compose himself and the way he talks and communicates towards his players. He sees the same leadership Peyton had when he was a QB. And I totally agree with him. And, hey, you can compare yourselves to other talent. Even future Hall of Famers. If, Reggie Wayne knows better than anybody else because he played with him. So, hey, it is what it is. But it was good to see Reggie Wayne as an actual coach get his first feel of, adapting to the team and try to get used to everything. Seeing him on the sidelines is going to be a good feeling going into next year. And I think he has potential to really boost his wide receiver group that's going to need it going into next year. Not saying they're going to be the best wide receiver group in the NFL, but I think Reggie Wayne, with his knowledge and mindset of being a wide receiver, can train these young guys going out there and actually performing and doing the things and, learning from their mistakes. So I think, having Reggie Wayne on that sideline is a huge bonus because we're going to need that veteran leadership. We're going to need all these things and tools if we want to try to compete and make this team as good as possible. Now, when he mentioned Peyton Manning, like I said, it's not, skill-wise or talent-wise because they haven't even practiced yet. So I definitely think the way he carries himself, he makes him feel like he's like, he sees how Peyton Manning used to do it. He feels like it's the same way with Matt Ryan. He even mentioned Andrew Luck. So, like I said, this has nothing to do with what he thinks talent-wise or anything. He doesn't think he's as good as Peyton Manning, but I think the way he carries himself and approaches certain situations, he says he has the same mindset as Peyton Manning does. And he even has the same similarities like Andrew Luck. But hey, it is what it is at the end of the day. Naheem Hines even went on the verge of saying that he sees him and reminds him of Phillip Rivers because Phillip Rivers was a vet as well. And, he had the same mindset. Phillip Rivers led us to the playoffs. So, of course, we couldn't get it done because of a few mishaps at the end of the game, including the offsides by Kamoko Ture. But it is what it is at the end of the day. So, hey, if he feels that confident in Matt Ryan and he can push us to the playoffs, so be it. If you can push us any further, so be it. You got my thumbs up and my step of approval at that end of the point. But I do think this team could be very special moving forward. Matt Ryan's on a 2-year deal. Naheem Hines said he sees a big opportunity stepping up into the role going into next year. That's always a bonus because we all know how big of a Naheem Hines fan I am and you are, some of us, of course, because, the last 2 years has been, kind of like, kind of iffy. But we know he can take another step up because he's a huge talent, and he is a gadget player, one of the fastest players in the NFL, and he's multi-dimensional. He can do two things. He can run the football and he can receive as well. So I think his talent can definitely be pushed going into next season as well. We might even get some kick returns or punt returns from Naheem Hines in all seriousness, if we're being honest, because I think he's just that good. And I think we've definitely upgraded our roster from last year, in my opinion. So I do think all these things moving forward going into next season is a huge bonus, and the future is bright for the Indianapolis Colts, man. These 2 years are definitely going to be warranted and guaranteed. I definitely think we're going to be taking another step going into next season with this roster, in my opinion. So I'm looking totally forward to seeing what we can do. Other news, they were talking about Darius Leonard, his ankle injury, how he's recovering and all these things. Hopefully he doesn't need any more surgery. He said he doesn't need to. He said it kind of warranted him last year. He couldn't be his natural self. But I think, in my opinion, this dude was a freak athlete. And, he was kind of bearing injuries. So how could you feel if he was 100% healthy and he had those ankles fully recovered? If he had those things fully recovered and he can move like he wants to be, makes it even more. And he's excited to see that Yannick Ngakoue was added to the roster. He said he's excited about that. So it's good, man. We're all good feels right now. Everything is normal. It doesn't feel like last year at all. Last year, you had this feeling about the team. You was like, all right, we're gonna do something. But it was always that huge question is like, what if, But now we feel like I've got more of a secure quarterback at the position. We actually have a leader, in my opinion. This has nothing to do with knocking Carson Wentz or anything, but I feel like the composure and the aroma and the environment around this team is much different than what it was last year. If you understand what I'm saying, tell me in the comment section. I think it's just much different. You feel like a certain air, feel like a certain confidence. It feels much different than last year because I don't know what it is, but I feel like more comfortable with Matt Ryan than I was with Carson Wentz. This has nothing to do with what he did over the season or anything in general. Like, and last year, before the season started, you guys were watching my videos. When the season started, I was like, okay, if the Colts can do something. But then when the weeks went by, it was kind of like a roller coaster. It was like trickling effects. You started to see the same thing happen over and over again. But when you get this feel of Matt Ryan and how he feels about the team and how he wants to learn his wide receivers and all these things, it's like, okay. We've seen this with Carson Wentz when he worked out with them and everything, but it's just not the feeling. Like, Matt Ryan wants to learn. He said he's going to figure out his mistakes, what he can do good and what he can do wrong. He wants to know how they adjust in certain scenarios when the defense pull out this scheme and what he wants to and what they want to do on the play calling snaps. All these things you want to hear from a leader. This is all the things you want to hear from a leader and a veteran that knows what he needs to do. He still has time left on his game. He still like he can go out there and play some good football, and that's good to know. Like I said, he was younger than Phillip Rivers, but I think this team that we have needs a veteran like Matt Ryan. But you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section about what you think Reggie Wayne said and how you think he said it, and how do you feel about Matt Ryan going into the season. All these things, let me know in the comment section. This is Marcus, and until next time, you've been Culture Shock.